How we doing on this side? Everybody good on this side? Everybody good? I'm not worried about that. Now, how you guys doing on that side? Everybody good? All right. If you guys didn't get a chance, by the way, we got some shirts for you guys. Just put them on when you can. Thank you, and thank you. Now everybody talking about things. I'm lying. All right, hello. My name is John. I'm an NJCU student like you guys. Like I said, I'm an NJCU student like you guys. I'm excited to be here. I'm glad to be here. My grades aren't the best, but I am getting them up. I'm happy to be here, like I said. Professor Weiss, thank you for putting me on here. Thank you. It's a big opportunity. I like it. Now, one thing about this, I did not expect it at all. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect it. So at first he was, talking to the students while they were doing their little presentations and stuff. He was like, so this is how it kind of went. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like the idea. I love the app. But what are you selling? John, by the way, you're going to be presenting on Tuesday. Get ready. What are you going to be selling? I was like, what? I was just there with my little Capri Sun. I'm like, what? So I was like, all right, I'll do it. Anyways, you guys just be ready, Just like I took the opportunity, take the opportunity. You guys are going to be presenting, having a good time, be having fun up here. Show your hard work, Show your hard work. Yes, sir. That being said, we all know why we're here. You're here to show off your work, show what you guys are here to present, and to win $5,000, clap it up. And to some food, clap it up. That's your reward. My reward, I'm only here for the food and like a Starburst. That's all I'm here for. That was all I was promised. That being said, when you guys come up here, be bright, be up, be ready. Be ready to go. You never seen a nonchalant singer, have you? I see you, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Okay, we have a musician here. Everybody clap for him. All right. Not to brag, but back in my day, I was quite a musician myself. I was in my prime. I was an amazing triangle player. You know triangle? You guys laugh, but it was a hard instrument. I was in like. I used to get creative, but it's always like. You know how like rock star bands used to like grab the guitar and just smash it on the floor, or like drop the mic. The singer used to drop the mic. I used to frisbee the triangle across the room. Maybe that's what I stopped playing with. That being said, everybody give a round of applause for Professor Weiss. All right. You guys ready? How's NJCU doing?
So, today's a first. It's a first because we established entrepreneurship culture in this university that's sustainable, that's leadership, and it's due to several things. One, always, the students. Two, leadership from our faculty. Dr. Donnellan, Dr. Laski, Dr. Johnson, thank you. Leadership from our administration, Dr. Sue Henderson, thank you. And most importantly, we need help from the community. And I want to thank right here, we have Valley National Bank, Chris Mansfield. We have Mike Luzio, LVE Group. And the Grand Poobah himself, Greg Delaplante, 50. Woo! And without Greg and his vision over almost 2 decades, I think we've known each other, practically, of trying to create an ecosystem of innovation, idea creation in Hudson County, he has finally put it together. And he's put a great team, 4 universities, but this is the best, NJCU! Right. And no matter all the teams, we had over 22, 23 applications across the university, by the way. Yeah, it was not easy. 5 teams made it. All of them were fantastic. And the 5 that are coming up here, I don't care who places where, you're all number 1 in my mind. Okay? And by the way, whoever is number 1, we are kicking the ass of St. Peter's. We are kicking the ass of Stevens Institute of Technology. And we'll give some love to Hudson County Community College. But we're still going to win. I want Stevens. All right, more seriously. I want to thank all my students in my MYOB classes. My chair is sitting here. So the louder you clap, the more he'll know how hard, innovative, creative we make MYOB, cross interdisciplinary lines, cross-disciplinary lines for the students, about supporting you and what you will do out of the box, throw the McGraw Hill book out the freaking window. Am I right? Thank you. Business is not a textbook, right? All right. On that note, I'm now going to deliver this to the Masters of Ceremony himself, your one and only NJCU family, educated, Bayonne boy himself, Dr. Michael Arbitblit. Where is he?
Man, how do I follow up with that? I got nothing. I was going to come here with all this energy, and I'm like, I can't even top him now. So I won't. Thank you all for coming out here today. As you can tell, it was a big, packed house. I'm very happy about this. I hope everyone has a shirt. If you don't, there's some left in the back. If you want some food, go do that. Please don't do that while they're presenting. You just want to screw anyone up. Everyone's in here for a fun time. Clap when you want to clap. But when they're presenting, I got to be the boring person and say all these things. So as Professor Weiss was saying, there were over 20, I think 3 or 4 submissions. Everyone did a fantastic job. It was very difficult. Narrowing down the top 5. If anyone is still going to be a student next year, there's going to be another time. I want to make this an annual event, and we can continuously beat St. Peter's. But I would like to just start the day off with a wonderful remarks from our president, Dr. Sue Henderson.
Okay, so I'm neither as enthusiastic as the last 2, but are there any peacocks in the room? Where are the peacocks? No St. Peter's people here? Oh, come on. They went.
I could take some classes.
Oh, okay, right. So I got to go to Trenton yesterday, and the president from St. Peter's was representing the private institutions, and we made a point of giving him a standing ovation because not for nothing, you got to be proud. It made Jersey City proud, so let's give them a round. But just wait till next year. So I want to thank you all so much for coming today. I really appreciate this. And one of the things I know is absolutely true, and I said it this morning at the meeting, at the event we had having to do with Hispanic serving institution, which we are. We are a proud Hispanic serving institution, have been for years. That just means on data points that we have 25% or more Hispanic students, but what it means here is that our students come from every corner of the globe, and they're Spanish speaking, and they represent so many very valuable cultures, but I have students from every corner of the globe, whether they're Hispanic or not Hispanic. So it is one of the greatest strengths. But here's the other greatest strength that I know to be true. If you look at the United States, today, what is going to innovate the United States is small businesses like yours, is entrepreneurship. That will be the growth industry of tomorrow. And the fact that we have this program here is fantastic because it's teaching you the skills that you need to be an innovator. Whether you have a full-time job while you're doing it, or whether you're out doing it. One of our biggest donors will tell you proudly that he has started 10 companies and 7 of them have failed. And he's proud of that. He's proud of that because that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur. And not for nothing, he funds a bunch of students to come here from other countries because he has the money to do that, because he's been successful in what he does, because he keeps going. And that's what entrepreneurs do. And you've got to start with the discipline of how you do that. And so this is your opportunity today, and you're here with some impressive faculty. and people who are willing to commit and work with you. And we've gotten funding from the state for an innovation center, which we're looking to bring up startup companies, and we have the small business development. So if you're really interested in doing something that you can take to market, we have the tools that can help you get there. So I'm excited for this, I'm excited for the potential, but the one thing you should never, ever, ever, ever forget is what potential you have in yourself. You're only as good as what you get up every day and do. So keep doing it, and doing it, and doing it, because that's the thing. All right, a couple of data points, because I'm a mathematician by training. Do you know that 44% of our economy is made up of small businesses, and 2/3 of net new jobs are going to be the new businesses that are created in the next 5 to 10 years. And that is going to make over $4.02 billion have been invested in startups in the New York area alone. That's huge. That is huge. There are investors out there looking to see what's the next new. And the next new is stuff we've never thought of. You know, higher education today is in a real change mode. We have to think about not what we can train you to do right now, but how to think so you're ready to do the job 5 years from now, whatever that job is, and then 10 years from now, whatever that job is, and 15 years from now. We've got to teach you to be a strategic thinker. And what you're doing today is helping you to get there. I'm excited for the work you're doing. I'm excited to see it, and I wish I could stay. However, I'll be in the city tonight with a bunch of other presidents talking about the future of sustainable innovation in higher education. So there you go. Thank you so much, and congratulations. I'm sorry, this is really important. Life doesn't happen every day. For example, my life doesn't happen every day unless the state gives me the funding, as well as the donors. This event was not be possible without the people. Mission 50, where are you? There he is, all right. Valley Bank, so I was recently in Israel with Valley Bank, and the LVE, how do you say it?
That's it, LVE.
Oh my gosh, I said it right, the LVE group, excellent. So someday, you all are going to be sitting over there funding something for us, correct? Absolutely. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So, like I said, we're going to try to keep the energy going. Everyone good? Everyone good? All right, good. Up next, we have another great speaker. He is the president of the Student Government Association Board of Trustees, student representative, Thyquel.
Good afternoon, everyone. That was weak. Good afternoon, everyone. There we go. How's everybody doing? There we go. I'm not going to be before you long, but I just want to get up here and say I'm excited, really, really excited to be here. Huge shout out to all the judges, to the donors, to the staff and faculty, administrators who helped to make this happen. But most importantly, thank you to the students for sacrificing their time. For sacrificing your time, your commitment, your dedication, sleep probably, whatever it was that you had to sacrifice and put forth to be here. Thank you for doing it. It's not every day that you find students that go above and beyond the classroom and go outside of the books and the normal schedule to do things like this. So this truly means a lot, and it speaks to a testament of the students that we have here at NJCU and about what you're really going to do to affect this world and just keep on living on. So thank you for everything that you're doing to be here, and best of luck to each of the teams. And regardless of what, you've made it here today, you've competed, you've brought forth your ideas, you've practiced, you've rehearsed, and you've made it to this point. And for that, you're already a winner. So thank you, and best of luck to you all.
Thank you so much. So, I just want to give a one more time shout out to each of the judges. They will be following a specific rubric. Each of you have it on your own table now. There should be 5 each. They are going to be judging each person. Then they're going to add up their scores. They're going to hand it to me. We're not going to announce anything until the end, so the suspense builds. So thank you so much, Chris Mansfield, Mike Luzio, Dr. Laski, Dr. Donnellan. So I believe we are going to start off now with our very first team. If anyone in the teams that's this room right now. Once you'll get ready for your intro or whatever, feel free to leave the room. If you don't, feel free to come up whenever, and I will get you set up. All right, so our first team is Cleanfields.
Hello everyone, my name is Victor Mayderdeng. I'm a finance student, and today, instead of Clearfields, I'm going to present about Cleanfields. But before I would dive into my presentation, please allow me to talk about some of the recent events and happenings. As you may know, Russia invaded Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine are among the top agricultural goods producers and are also among the top exporters globally. On the right, you can see the Global Hunger Index, which is a good indicator for food inequality globally. And I can assure you, since Ukraine and Russia is at war, these statistics are only going to get worse. I'm so sorry about that. I'm not used to using a microphone. But diving back to it. So, although not only developing nations are at threat in terms of global hunger, there is also a major problem what developed countries such as the United States are going to face. But before I would dive into it, please allow me to have an outlook of the industry, of the agriculture industry. Approximately $1.25 trillion equating to the U.S. agriculture, which is approximately 5% of the total U.S. GDP. Approximately 10.3% of Americans are working directly or indirectly within the field. And why I said that developed countries are also not safe in terms of production. Although the United States is being the #1 agriculture exporter, as of 2018, the U.S. had lost its positive net import and export balance, which means that now the United States is also forced to start importing agricultural goods, and this trend is also only going to get worse. According to the USDA, the productivity gap as opposed to demand by 2050 is going to be so severe that developed nations around the world are going to face extreme hardships. On the right, you can see that most of these products are among the fruits and vegetables. These are the two biggest items. Further adding to this grim picture, scientists had unveiled not long ago that since the 1990s, vitamin and iron properties have been gradually deteriorating in plants, vegetables, and fruits. Why is that so? There is no real change within traditional chemical-based agriculture. There is 150 years of unchanged methodology, no real changes in principle, and the lack of micro-focus point. However, that's where we are coming into the picture. What do we offer? Well, first, currently we have 238 acres of land in a subtropical U.S. territory. We are trying to enter the agriculture market by producing our sample farms, as well as implementing a service to other producers. And I can see that you're already squinting, so I'm so sorry about the small letters. Going forward, I'm not going to elaborate more on the complexity of what we are doing, plus there's also a trade secret. But what you have to know about a micro-focus point is that adding to existing technologies such as foliar fertilization, we are using our own innovative and revolutionary procedures, which unfortunately I cannot entirely disclose, but what I can share with you guys is that the plants are in need of certain reactions, such as good bacteria, same as with us humans, and we can enhance their properties by adding different biocompost, fungi, and good bacteria, not through the soil and not through the roots, as it was before, but with our own methods, because scientists have revealed that some of the most essential nutrients cannot be absorbed via the roots. But that's where we come into the picture. As I mentioned, we have 200 acres already, but for simplicity reasons, only on the production side, I'm going to showcase on 100 acres 3 very basic items of fruits. Well, tomatoes up for debate whether it's a fruit or not. So on the 100 acres, using average yields without our own innovative ideas, where we can actually guarantee at least a 20% of yield increase, but these numbers are within the average yields without our own innovative measurements. Approximately, bananas are capable of producing 100,000 units per acre, tomato 40 tons per acre, strawberry 8 tons per acre. With these numbers, and with an extremely pessimistic 80% SG&A, or cost of goods sold, as you may know, 80% is a really pessimistic number, but even with an 80% SG&A, we are capable of turning into profits after $500,000 of initial investments, mainly for leasing heavy machinery, paying our experts, as we are currently working together with one of the few plant doctors, one of the few plant doctors on earth and one of the best agro-engineers currently. About our financing strategy, because our MVP is basically our own production on our own 200 acres, approximately we need $500,000 in order to cultivate the land, lease the machinery, and to pay our salaries. With our services, when we are going to engage with other producers, as you can see, the initial investment would be extremely not cost beneficial because we would need to acquire heavy machinery. However, once we are going to start our service production and go around to both small and mass producers, small and medium producers and mass producers, with our initial plan that we are capable of increasing their yields with at least 20%, then we are going to change our financing strategy because we cannot do it without acquiring heavy machinery. However, for the time being, we are just going with our own sample production on our 100 acres, actually 238 acres. Our competitors, probably you guys have heard about vertical farming. Vertical farming is a revolutionary idea. However, they're not traditional chemical-based farming, and they're not an organic company, because they're eliminating the soil part, which is one of the most important traditional foundation of agriculture, and they're extremely not cost-effective. And I don't know if you have heard about CRISPR and CS9 companies. They are altering genome sequences. It's a really good idea. However, what they're doing is they're trying to make the plants more resilient, and that's not what we are trying to do. And as you can see, production is not meeting demand, and it's only going to get worse. Therefore, we need methods where we are increasing our yields, and that's why we are here. Thank you for your attention. Thank you so much, guys. Here are my references. Apart from our own data, I use the USDA statistics. Thank you so much again for your attention, for the judges, and woo!
You hear me, right? I lowered the volume. I couldn't hear myself. Yeah. So I was gonna say, let everyone have 2 minutes. It's double-sided.
Please excuse me, I forgot about the questions. I was so glad that my extra 5 minutes were over. Any questions?
Yeah, Victor, you mind?
Yes, sir. Of course.
So, a couple things, all right? And by the way, anything, my name is Mike Luzio. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
My first company sold for a lot of money, retired, and now I do is angel invest. So I look at about 1,000 pitches a year, my team does, and then I look at about 200 of those deals. So I listen to pitches all day.
My heart rate is just going up right now.
No, so listen, so anything that I say to you guys, just take this as constructive criticism. It's not bad. You guys are young. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do when I was 21 years old, 22 years old, right? One thing I want you to do when you're doing it, slow down a little bit. Slow down. And I know it's hard because I talk fast as shit, right? So just slow down a little bit, all right?
I'm extremely sorry. We were told that we were going to get stuck. So
No. Listen, what I always tell people is this. If you can't get your idea across in about 30 seconds, I think you've heard an elevator pitch. It's really real, right? So if you're meeting with an investor at the bottom of an elevator, you're going up 30 floors, you should be able to identify what your company is in that 30 seconds. Because maybe I'm the guy who can write a check for $1 million, but they're sitting there and saying to themselves, I need you to be able to articulate while we're going up what your company is. I mean, I'm sure you get this all the time. And you have to have the ability to do that because you might only get one shot with a guy like me, and you don't want to blow it. Now, I'm not saying you blew it. Just slow it down, and sometimes we've always heard the acronym, keep it simple, stupid, right? KSS. Really, just keep it simple. Because if it's too complex, a guy like me who's not that bright is going to go, what's this back? All right, couple quick questions, right? I'm sorry, Dave, just give me 2 seconds. in the beginning, I'm trying to figure out what it is, all right? And I want to understand when you're given a pitch, really in that first 15 seconds, 20 seconds, you want to kind of grab my attention, right? There's a great movie called Glengarry and Ross, do I have your attention now? Right? That's the first thing. You want to get my attention now, okay? I think it could be a really good company, but I'm still not, and I'm not the brightest guy. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what it is. I understand it involves a large capital raise, because we're going to have to go out there and get manufacturing equipment, right? Correct?
These, at first, on our own sample
But you're
farm.
going to have to go out and get it. You're going to need a pretty sizable capital raise, which is fine, all right? Most businesses do. How much business, I started right now, how much capital you need? You said 500K, right? That was the initial. One of the things you kind of want a little, hey, we're going to go for these industries and that industry. What I try to tell entrepreneurs is focus. I'm sure he can tell you this. When he started his business, he was real good at one thing. He got really, really good at one thing, and then he branched off on other things. A big problem with a lot of entrepreneurs, they go, well, I can do this, I can do this, I can sell this, I can sell that, I can get hats. And they're like, what? Hats? What are you talking about? Construction. So keep on point with what you have, because if you have to stay in your lane until you can get outside your lane. Don't worry, I always tell entrepreneurs, it's okay to hit singles and doubles in the beginning. Any entrepreneur thinks, oh, I want to hit a home run. Look, I get it. There's some great companies out there that hit home runs right out of the gate. Those are so few and far between. Hit your singles and doubles first. I use a baseball analogy. Hit singles and doubles, and your triples and home runs will come. Have you done this yet? Is there a proof of concept? Do you have this? Have you done it anyway?
Yes, so probably I should have elaborated more on that. Currently we're working with one of the few plant doctors back in Europe, who's been going around and mass producers within Europe, within the continental area. However, he's also well versed within other environments, such as subtropical, etc. So he's pretty much universal in terms of, and his own data, with his ideas, what we work together on, altogether, technically, we are capable of producing more than 20% of yields. However, due to marketing reasons, and due to guarantees, that's why we went with the 20%. However, our own data so far show that with our methods, we are capable of increasing yields for producers, basically not depending on the environment, with 50%. Or in terms of biofarming, we are also capable of doubling the yields. So it's also based on whether it's a traditional producer or if it's a bio producer. And if anything, I don't know if you guys know what's the difference between bio-agriculture and traditional agriculture. It's very simple. So at least you guys will leave something, a knowledge within agriculture. Bio is the only reason why they are putting that this is bioproduct is that because they're not using 500 pesticide. In fact, they're not using any pesticide. So if you guys go and do your groceries and you see bio apples, bio this, bio that, it means that they just did not use pesticide.
Okay. Is this like, I always ask some questions. Is this a white space? Is this a true white space? I mean, really good companies find white space to go in. When I say a white space, it's a space that no one's really explored, right? Like, I'm an investor in this company called Super Coffee, if anyone's ever had it. An early investor 6 years ago in it. They attacked the Frappuccino market at 92%. 400 calories, 8 grams of sugar. These boys went in, I say they're boys, they're still in their 20s. And they came in and they said, I want a healthier alternative to Frappuccino. They now have 11% of the market. The company's worth $800 million. Point is, I know. I do have a good piece. But point is this a white space? Is this something no one else is really doing?
So there are methods like foliar fertilization, which you're also capable of. However, it's not as cost effective and it needs extreme attention. What we are doing, which I cannot entirely disclose, is people are not really doing it.
Okay.
So it's something new in that regard.
Okay, so the last thing I'll leave you with is, I graduated from the University of Maryland. I'm on the board of trustees there, very, very involved there. University of Maryland used to go to the University of Maryland Agricultural College. We're like the biggest agricultural college, one of them in the country. If I can leave you with this, if this is something you really like, I'm going to connect you with the Dean of the Agricultural School at the University of Maryland, who's a very
Really appreciate it, sir.
and I'll get on that call and listen to the pitch a little bit more. And maybe they can dumb it down for a guy like me. Cool?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Does this remind you of the MYOB class for my students? The way I teach?
Yeah. So, up next, I have another great team, which has the music. Up next is NFL Goldzone.
You got me.
Revenue in 2020 for NFTs is $250 million in total. Some of the market leaders currently, NBA, Top Shot, CryptoPunks, Hashmasks, just to name a few. NFT has been considered for future ownership by users, everything from tickets to events to houses to eventually like ownership, all can be tokenized in this matter in some form. Given anyone can create NFTs, the scarcity of them right now doesn't guarantee it. So losses can stack up. However, if the hype does die down. But right now, as it's going to be a very big deal in the next couple of years. Most transactions platform. However, there are other platforms and there will be more platforms in the future. Just going along with the business plan, here's some of the costs of development. Pretty much website, UI development from profiles to payment, all ranges there. Revenue currently for projects from notch over 500 million in total sales. The intention is to have 500 to 750,000 users by the end of year one. Different packs and pieces can fluctuate accordingly. And some of the expenses, you want to have some of these physical players there to promote this, so promoting physical players and corporate expenses as well as fees to crypto platforms.
So the pricing for NFL Goldzone. So we have a few packs, like I mentioned, with the draft night moment. So the draft is tomorrow night, so Friday there will be a new pack in our system, right? So the first pack, there's three pricing arrangements. There's a $9.99, which we call our value pack. You get five NFL moments. You got a 1 in 100 chance at getting a rare card, but you're not guaranteed you're not getting a chase card at all. In the $24.99 package, you get 10 moments. You get one guaranteed rare card and a 1 in 20 chance at a chase card. And in $49.99, you get 3 moments, 2 which are rare and 1 is chase. Okay, and the marketplace. So you would deposit funds into your Goldzone moment, right? So you would put your credit card in, and you would have to deposit the funds into your Goldzone wallet, which will then allow you to purchase the packs that were just mentioned, right? Once you are able to, once you deposit your money into that wallet, you're able to now purchase the packs. And here's how our pricing breakdown will be in terms of profit. So, for example, for every $9.99 sale, there will be 10% of that money will be taken out as fees, which will go to us. 10% of that will remain in your wallet, so you cannot withdraw 10% of what you're putting in or making, and then 80% you can withdraw. So if you have $100 in there, $10 of that comes to us, 10 remains in your wallet, and 80 goes home with you.
So that 10%, that's dead money?
No, you take it, you can withdraw it into your credit card and debit card.
But it can't leave the account in order to maintain the account. It has to have a minimum, like.
Yeah, there's a minimum of the 80% has to remain.
Okay.
So competitive analysis. So the barriers to entry. NFTs are still very new, like I said before. There's still a lot of unknown within this industry in relation to originality. The structure of NFTs being issued for many customers in the future as well for control purposes and accessibility as well. A lot of people have a phone nowadays or computer nowadays, but still. Entry. Similar products, NBA Top Shot is a big one in the sports world, but they only do basketball. And grad teams as well. But competitive edge is having backing a multi-billion-dollar league such as the NFL to help NFL Goldzone as products flourish.
So here on the screen you can see a little organizational structure within our team. So we would have the CEO, the CMO, and then we also would include app developers, which we would outsource to be Dapper Labs, which is works with the NBA and NBA Top Shop, so they kind of already have hand within sports NFT marketplaces. So we're kind of partnering with them to not only be our app developer, but also be our NFT expert. So then along with that, we have support staff, account staff, and then a legal counsel as well. And here we have a quick breakdown of what our funding uses would be. So our funding would go to Dapper, some funding would go to Dapper Lab, so they can help us create the NFT moments. Then we also have sponsorships, sponsors such as NFL, and then using the NFL sponsors such as Pepsi and Caesar Sportsbooks to kind of make us as mainstream as we want to be. Investments, holding a share in our NFT project, we hold true to the model. We do not want to serve you, or we're not serving ourselves or our staff. So if we're going to be offering you guys NFTs, we need to make sure that we're following up and keeping with NFTs ourselves. And then employment and workers that we want to employ.
Here we just have a quick rundown of the timeline of project rollout, from the market to designing the app, documentation for it, as well as creating a prototype for this app. Next page, just continue developmental stages, testing, creating a final product, and eventually putting this product to market. Here is a guide on how to get started within the NFT market as a user. And here we have expansion opportunities. So we added Goldline digital assets to our presentation as a name because eventually this can branch out beyond what the NFL is. It can grow along with other sports leagues as well as NCAA and NIL deals, which is very big nowadays. There's significant value in that, and there's also significant value in partnering with universities as well to be able to put these NFTs out there to young athletes who would eventually become stars in the future. Imagine getting a card from a college athlete before anybody knows who he is, and then you have that card down the line and it's worth millions.
Yeah, and to expand a little bit on the expansion ideas, some of the expansion ideas that we have would be kind of national championship moments. Maybe we can have a Peacock moment from when they were on the historic run, and then green jacket moments for masters and golf. We can do high school championships. We can do D3 championships. So it's just really, really digitalizing, monetizing not only the moments that we want to remember, but also possessing them as well.
Thank you, Beth.
How much does the NFL charge to use the logo and likeness?
And the NFLPA, which is in the back of the card too.
Oh boy.
And the team.
Oh boy.
And maybe even Twitter, I don't know.
Oh boy.
Right. So,
I don't think it's good the 10% to cover. But,
Right.
you know, this is the week of time.
yeah, so we would definitely tweak the amounts at that time when that comes. However, that's part of the reason why we looked into Dapper Labs. So Dapper Labs has those partnerships and has the ideas already. So we're outsourcing our sourcing. So kind of like we're kind of just big brains, while we have everybody else and our sponsors do the rest for us.
Did you sign like an NDA with them?
Of course we do.
Yeah, one question. Nice job, Alan. Dominic, and shout out to Dr. Johnson there from the class. Just a quick question. I thought it was good. 500 to 750,000. Where did you come up with that number?
So that number came from what NBA Top Shop and what other NFT-related companies did for their first year of being in existence. So actually, they did more than that. They did, I think it was $1 million. But we're kind of trying to bring ourselves in a more, I guess, reasonable bracket. I mean, the hope is to exceed that, but if we sit in that bracket, it would be reasonable expectation.
So quick follow-up, what's the difference between your group and those groups?
So one big difference would be the availability of our pack. So NBA Top Shop has been available for, I think since 2020. If you go onto their marketplace right now, they only have 2 packs that you're able to buy currently because everything else just sells out quickly and they drop it very, very scarce. Our product, we do similar to, as I mentioned with the NFL draft moment, we're doing on-demand and quick thinking, so our availability, as along with we're being the first ones to put it out, because similar to the cards that you have, I believe are 2021, and were available in storage just 2 months ago, right? So to get a player's card from 2021, you had to wait to 2022 because of the market and because of the supply chain. So by having our availability and our quickness to make the moments as soon as possible, as soon as they happen, you're now not only owning a moment that you believe in, so even if it's like the Jets' fourth overall pick, if they're selecting 4th overall and they pick Sauce Gardner, right, and you have that moment because you think he's going to be the next top corner, now you own it before everybody else does.
Alan, wear a Jets jersey next time around.
I'll consider it.
That's an end of talk right there.
Good job.
Guys, what currencies are you looking to take? I'm sorry, Mike. What currencies?
So we're looking
so full disclosure, I just started learning about NFTs within the last 3 months, and I looked at an NFT investment with a guy by the name of Chaz Servino's a New Jersey kid, One Digital Partners. They got the licensing to Justin Tucker's longest kick, the 64-yard field goal. It was pretty sick, right? So I really started to dive into it. I didn't really get it. I mean, I got it. It's a space. It's going to be huge. I believe that. But I do have a couple questions. And I think you're onto something. I think everybody's onto something. It's who's going to get there first. It's kind of like the marijuana industry, right? Everyone always says, do you invest in marijuana? It's like, God, there's 7 billion companies. It's like literally, you just don't know. It's like throwing a dart, right? It's like the technology industry when I came out of college in the late 90s. It's like all that Silicon Valley East, which was down in Northern Virginia, they were everywhere, but you didn't know who to invest in. So I think you're onto something. But a couple questions I have for you guys. And you guys touched on it. What stops an NBA Top Shot and DraftKings from doing it? Right? I look at the DraftKings, these guys are so overly funded, right? I mean, everybody's in bed with these guys. Why wouldn't they just do this? And by the way, that's not a knock on you. I'm just saying that would be a big concern I have.
So we understand that DraftKings and NBA has a lot more to handle, right? So with Goldzone digital assets, we're strictly in the NFT business. So while DraftKings may have an NFT department, that doesn't mean that's what they're handling. When it comes to NBA Top Shot, they may have an NBA Top Shot department, but they still have the entire NBA to handle. So by having a specific company tailored towards currently only, it would be currently only the NFL Goldzone. So having that currently our main focus and our only focus, it would allow us to really just be the only ones that are focusing solely on NFT projects and creating the content for our customers and to really mainstream our players.
So watch this question I asked you. I'm Roger Goodell. My office is, I don't know where the hell I am right now. It's somewhere right around New York City, right? It makes $40 million a year, right? 50, whatever it is, insane amount of money. You guys walk in, why is he buying from you? Because that's a big question, right?
I mean, 2 young business majors coming right out of college. We're all about sports. We're all about the NFL. We're about benefiting them. We want to support what they're doing. We also want to put them on the forefront of the future of NFTs. I'm right with you with NFTs. Very new to me as well. A lot of my friends tell me get into it now because it's going to be huge in the future. So pushing the NFL, which is a league that I would say is more on the forefront of getting things done with the future, but pushing them even more and having, without just pushing towards them to start, that'd be a good pitch for us to go down.
Okay. No, I think you're also on to something. You guys talk about partnerships. I mean, you talk about Caesars. Like, I always try to teach people, I say this to both these guys before, everything you guys will realize in life is about relationships. It's it. I mean, it's everything. Any entrepreneur will tell you that. Everything is about relationships. It's all about good relationships, never screwing anybody over, doing the right thing. Because if you do, your name's mud in the industry, and they'll know that Mike Luzio is a jerk, and I don't want to do business with him, right? It's important. So when you talk about relationships, you talk guys like Caesars, right? Guys like me, investors who have, sit on boards, big boards, may know guys at Caesars, which I do. Pepsi, talk about him. Al Carey's the CEO of Pepsi. I played golf with him last week, he just retired. Point being is, when you're having these conversations, also know the investors you're talking to, and do research on those guys. Because if you look me up, you can see I sit on several boards with a lot of these guys, and you might be able to say, let's tailor that to the person I'm investing to. It's just a tip I'm giving you guys for future as you guys are, venturing your entrepreneurial world. But I mean, look, you're on something. It's definitely space. This thing's gonna be gigantic. It's a matter of who gets there, right? It's just like marijuana. Who's gonna get there first? Who's gonna be that
Cheech and Chong, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, they got the smoke, but
These guys are talking smoke.
you're on to something. Good job. You definitely found a space. Good job. Thank you.
So thank you, kudos. Good work.
Sorry about that, everyone. It's hot in here, right? All right, well, congrats. Good job.
It's heating up.
It's heating up. The competition is heating up. All right, so that's 2 down. Now, we have our third team, Business Bridge Incorporated. Come on up.
Hello, so as we walk in together, we're going to present to you guys Business Bridge, where we're bringing everyone together. Our management team includes me, Luzio, Naya, and Brianna. What is Business Bridge? Business Bridge is a soft landing app that is going to connect and network 4 main corporations with small entrepreneurs and businesses. Our 4 main corporations are within sales, marketing, finance, and legal, all within Jersey City, New Jersey, where we project to expand throughout New Jersey. Our mission is to connect the best local professionals and cater to your small business. So here we have some of the top lawyers, finance, sales, and marketers within Jersey City that we would like to potentially work in the future. So our value, what business brings value to is that socially networking, we're accessing capital, finding mentors, we are bringing customers and partners together, providing feedback and guidance, building a connection and an ecosystem through our app with trustworthy ratings. The problem that we're trying to close is that only 1/3 of small entrepreneurs reach the 10-year anniversary. As our app is looking to be long-term, we hope to bring that 1/3 to a little bit higher and help small businesses reach 10 years.
Hi, my name is Neha. Our market plan is by reaching our customers by advertising our product and our service. And another way is word of mouth. And another way also is using social media and influencers. An example is New Jersey Biz. These are our top 5 competitors. And from those 5, there are 2, Expertise and Best Business Bureau. They're actually websites. The only difference is that we're developing an app, and we are trying to close. We are trying to cater to small businesses.
Thank you. My name is Luzio, and I would like to introduce you the prototype of the application we will be using. So the first thing you need to do is download the application and actually create your account. Then at the landing page, you'll see your profile information, recent search, and also next. We can move on, thank you. For the professional help page, you'll see the short description of the corporation and as well as the reviews, feedbacks from the small businesses that already purchased the service of the corporations. And lastly, for the homepage, there will be the button for seeing the corporations around your area. If you need some extra help, some communication or technology help, there is a chat box, and we are available 24/7 to respond to your questions. Within AdData, we'll collect the information about the demographic of the clients, as well as the searching algorithm that will potentially help us to create the revenue over some period of time, because we'll become the data brokers, so we'll have a great potential to increase revenue and sell the information or data to third parties. Thank you, and I will give birth to my colleague.
Hello, my name is Lenny Carpio, and I will be talking about subscription options. So first we have two basic plans for our corporation, the corporations that we will be recommending in our app. Then we have to pay an average of $700 per year, and then we have to pay a monthly, and we have the option to pay a monthly. We have a different approach for
lastly, within our third year is where we have the value creation with a profit and estimated EBITDA to be worth $1.3 million. We are asking you for $200,000 with 20% equity and 6% yield enhancement as our app will develop within the next 5 years. And your ROI will be 22% per year. So now we ask you to help us bring everyone together.
I mean, obviously, as a representative of Valley Bank, I think I have to ask, why did you put Bank of America in your proposal?
It was just one of the examples we actually, yeah.
So,
But,
so there's really no connection.
but we can work with you if you're gonna,
Secondly, and by the way, the New Jersey EBA, and for all of the entrepreneurs in the room should know that they are very instrumental in helping a lot of small businesses get off the ground and get their financing straight. In fact, there are some banks, maybe not my bank, but there are some banks right here in New Jersey that have special loan programs that were tailored by the EBA. And you can talk to the small business lender at a lot of these banks and find out more about how to qualify, how to apply for those programs. And they provide capital for companies that are looking to relocate or locate their business here in New Jersey. And all they ask is that you maintain a commitment to employ a certain amount of people right here in the state. So kudos, girls. You clearly did your homework there. Let me ask you this. Do you have an app already that we can download today?
we do not. This
Okay,
is just
so
like
you are looking to get an app started. Are any of you learning to code?
I think we're all in the finance and marketing field,
Okay.
but one of
So
the
you'll go to the tech department?
exactly, we are like looking to outsource.
I think it's a little steep for the local entrepreneur. I'll let my other judges talk.
Keep talking.
That's it. I'm done.
Okay, thank you. What else?
All right, just one question. I pick up the phone, I go online, I can find anything I want for free. What's the difference between this and that?
So our app, the difference is that we are catering to your small business. So a lot of like our competitors, you just go to their website, go to their app, and you kind of have to figure it out on your own. One of the things as a small business and as school students, we don't really know where to go or what to find. So the fact that we have these concierges and these free consultings, they will end up, you tell them your problems in your business, and they will help you cater to your business. So it's not like you just go on our app and you just figure it out and you just contact the marketer. We will give you that information, like we think you should contact a marketer or a lawyer, and then from there you would go on. So it's catered to you.
Do you actually have someone that's at the other end saying, hi, John, how are you? This is what we recommend, and here's some information on. So someone there that can actually.
Yeah, so we have the chat box, which Luzio explained. So if you were 2 in the morning and didn't know what to do, you can call it, text in the chat box, and we will try to help you and set up a free concierge with you. And then from this free service, you could potentially keep on working with us and then doing the 2 lessons per month, and then we would recommend you all of the top corporations within the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So a couple quick questions. So the way I look at this is, and I guess if you're older you would know this, probably not younger. We go with a company called Angie's List, right? And Angie's List has a market cap of $4.6 billion. I didn't know that until I just looked it up. I knew they were public, right? But they have a market cap of $4.6 billion. The point being is Angie's List is kind of, I try to look at businesses and say, what is it like and what is it kind of like? Angie's List, to your point before, you're right. You can go on Google it up and say, I need a low payment. But if you subscribe to Angie's List, which has a market cap of $4.6 billion, it gives you those top 10 recommended companies, and you go, you know what, I don't have to weed through Google and see who's an idiot and who's not an idiot, who's going to overcharge, who's going to undercharge, right? So there is something there. Also what reminding me of, there's a movie in 2013 called The Internship. It's about Google, right? And there's a great line in it when he says, he talks about, the professor says, or not the professor, the guy who's running the intern says, what they did to win the competition, they connected people with information. That's what Google does. That's what you're trying to do here, and I get it. I think it needs to be baked out a little bit more, all right? I mean, and by the way, it's not bad, all right? I also was saying to myself, which I also ask companies a lot, I'll have my friends come up to me who are, you know, finance guys, they'll go, I got the greatest idea, right? I'll go, okay, lay on, go ahead, right? And they'll give you this idea, and if it's really bad, I'll go, that's terrible. But if it's really good, I go, that's gotta be out there, right? I just say it, they go, no, I look at everything. And then I just Google it, and I go, there it is, and it's public. And they go, oh shit, no, sorry for what you did. My point being is, this does sound like a really good idea, and my expectation is, if it's not out there in some way, shape, or form, someone's either tried to develop and it didn't work, or it's somewhere out there. I would really research, because there's something to this, and I bet you someone's doing something similar. Do you guys know if anyone is?
Well, we do, the competitors, we looked at the Business Bureau, and they have something very similar where they're an app, a website. So their website, you can go on and then you can find a marketer or a lawyer, and they will give you the top best in your city or in your state.
Right.
Yeah, so what we're catering more to is that we won't give you a list right away. We won't give you that 10 marketers or the 10 lawyers. We will first have you talk to our consultants, have that concierge, and we would cater to your businesses. From the experiences, I worked with internships, I worked with a fashion designer, and I mean, as a student, I didn't know all of these small businesses that are around Jersey City that are like hidden gems that you don't really know about. So that kind of like sparked the idea, and we kind of kept on creating it, was that it's more about catering to your small businesses. A lot like Google and a lot of these competitors just give you a list of people and they just go figure it out yourself, or contact them, hopefully it works out. They might be the best, but maybe not the best for you. So our business will be, you get that free concierge. We will give you the top people that we do believe is yours, that is within your business. So if you search up, you think you might need a marketer, but you might really need a lawyer because you're not doing the right stuff in your lawyer.
So I would say to you,
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing. Start local,
Yeah.
right? Because if you try to get too, like I said before, cannon home runs, right? Figure out if this proof of concept can work. You got a big enough community here. You got a university behind you, right? Try it out. You know, you got businessmen sitting right here who's building up all of Hudson County, right? You know, these are good things. Start local and see if you got something. But really Google and see if there's other companies doing it. Because to me, I think there could, I don't know it, but the only thing that comes to mind is Angie's List. It's different, but it's a similar concept.
And business coaching, there's a lot of business coaches, but I think you're doing the right thing, bridging the two.
Yes.
So continue.
Good job.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Use the term hidden gem, because that was the key when you said that. If you can find the hidden gems in the community, that's your bingo.
Thank you.
No, that's your goal.
Thank you.
Nice job.
All right. How's everyone feeling? Everyone a little calmer now? No? I hear his voice. He's going. The next team's a little nervous for you. So up next we have...
Two more teams.
All right, so the fourth team...
Commercial on Shark Tank, isn't there commercials?
So up next we have Sneaker Society.
gonna show y'all the money today. I know y'all want the money. We're gonna show y'all the money.
All right, the sneaker industry is estimated to be over $2 billion in North America and $30 billion globally. That is $30 billion with a B. All right. There's one problem. In 2019, the U.S. Customs Border Protection seized more than 14,000 pairs, and it adds up to $2.2 million. They seized over $2.2 million of unauthorized sneakers. Unauthorized sneakers, which means sneakers that are not legit by Nike or Jordan. That is the problem that we have in our reselling market, and we're trying to work on it because people are really losing money.
Nobody likes losing money.
The opportunity was that we can use technology. Everybody has a phone nowadays. Everybody has laptops. Everybody has computers. Everybody has access to the internet. So we want to use that technology to make sure everybody is shopping safe, not losing their money, not being scammed by other resellers that sell fake sneakers. All right, our app provides a public free market, which is free to download. You can, if you wanna buy sneakers, you can shop safely and free. We also offer a seller's market, which we charge $24.99 a month for it, or you can pay $240 a year if you want to save some bucks. You can pay $240 yearly. By subscribing, you're gonna have access to benefits such as getting one of these shoes for a suggested resale price, which is $100 instead of paying $2,000. That shoe right now on the market costs over $2,000. That's $2,000.
Tell them the price with that.
What I'm touching right now? Yes.
Oh, this one.
That is a Ben & Jerry, the ice cream company. They collabed with Nike, and then they made that shoe. The retail price was $100, but the aftermarket price is over $2,000. So that is a Ben & Jerry. That's yours. Yeah, that's my shoe. I paid $100 for that. I got lucky enough to pay $100.
Is it 50 for one?
No.
Maybe we could split a pair.
So by becoming a seller, you're gonna have access, maybe a chance to get one of those shoes, one of those exclusive sneakers for the suggested resale price. But to be a seller, you're gonna have to be verified. How you're gonna be verified is that you're gonna have to upload pictures of the sneakers. We're gonna require the XQA code, stitching, the insole, the box, the outsole, every single thing about the shoe. We're gonna have to require you to take a picture of it and a video of it so we can verify that the shoe is real. So like that we can sell it to our customers, and customers can shop with us safely and not go to other competitors.
So wait, you guys get the shoes? Where do you keep the shoes?
We're gonna get the shoes. So pretty much, until everything's up and
Yes.
So you guys are holding the shoes in a warehouse, so to speak?
Yes.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so we're gonna talk money now. Alright, so our ask right now is $250,000. That's for the general, like everything, the general setup here and everything, how the app development and the app design. So the app development pretty much costs around from like $100 to $300, and that's just to get the app started, get the app on the App Store, and just get it running. And then the Android and Google Play Store development app is a $25 one-time fee. So in order to get an app in the store, you have to pay that $25 fee to get it listed. So that will be the one-time fee. We have to pay that ever again. And then pretty much the bulk of the money is going to go to what we're trying to do is make everybody everybody just get like a good experience with selling shoes. Like I'm pretty sure everybody doesn't like losing money. You want to get your money, you want to get what you paid for. So we're going to be using that a lot.
I personally lost money trying to buy a pair of sneakers, so I really don't want to happen again.
And then the last, the $50,000 is just going to be for our office space, like what Mike just asked, is where we're going to be keeping the sneakers. That's going to be for our warehouses, our employees to help maintain everything is good. And then that's pretty much going to be how we're going to break down our money. Okay? All right, market analysis. So with our app, you're going to be paying, like my associate has said, my business partner, you're going to be paying $24.99 a month or $240 annually. And I know you guys are asking, okay, why would you guys pay that to two college kids and probably know what they're talking about. When there's other apps like Dope, StockX, there's something called SoulSteals. So SoulSteals is pretty much one of the biggest
sneaker reselling apps. But what they do is they only release like limited membership
It sounds too good. All right, it's a great idea because I know it's real and I know it's a real business. So as soon as I Google, right, and I find this company, Legit Mark, Legit Check, it's got those shoes as their basis, the Ben and Jerry, and it says Legit Mark is setting the standard for sneaker authentication. With Legit Mark, find out more about the authenticity of your sneaker with detailed remarks from multiple authenticators that are trained and assessed frequently on the model they authenticate. And that sneaker is there. Who are those guys?
So those guys are basically competitors.
Okay, so they are. Okay.
TikTokers and the Instagram influencers and all of that. That's where we really want to. So there's an opportunity. Our vision is so that there's an opportunity, and we really want to jump into it and try to get as much money as we could out.
Okay. Here are the numbers.
Okay, so obviously we can see that obviously the sneaker community and the sneaker business is $1 million business, and we hope that with our anti-scamming AI and all that stuff in the app, that sellers can really get, what they want and not be scammed and get, and, have, and subscribe and get the sneakers that they want and sell it to the people that they want and have an authentic shoe.
Alright, so basically what we're gonna start here, this is gonna be
Do you have an app right now, guys?
we're actually in the middle of working on the design.
You actually have a
Yeah,
design.
pretty much, yeah. Okay. Alright, so go to the same chart.
Alright, so obviously for building a business, we hope to make profit out of the first year, but our goal is to break even and not lose any money. So for the 2021, we are estimated to have up to 30,000 users. So 30,000 users times $24.99 a month. The subscription fee is going to be $8.9 million. Subscription fee. And then we have our expenses breaking down. So our expenses are going to come to $439,000, which is going to leave us with $8.5 million. That's for the first year. And then the second year, we're planning to double the amount of users, which is $60,000. That's also going to double the subscription fees to up to $17.9 million. And also, when you double the profit, obviously the expenses are going to go up too. So the expenses are planning to go up to $541,000, which leaves us with $17.4 million. That's not bad for a second year. Our third year, we're planning to go up more. We're doubling the $60,000. We're planning to go to 120,000 users. That is 120,000 users times $24.99 a month, which leads up to $35,985 a year. Also, like I said, the more money you make, the more expenses you will have. The expenses will go up to approximately $1 million, to $908,000, which leaves us with $35 million in profit.
Who's the finance person?
We
Get on business bridge.
All of us.
Mike wants to hire you first. And duplicate that. This factor.
All of us.
I know you guys are gonna ask okay, for the users, how we were talking about the users.
It's the biggest sneaker convention in the world. So last year, not last year, 2019, they had broke the record. They had 125,000 attendees and vendors at that sneaker convention, and that's just crazy. So I don't see what's stopping us from going into there, okay, marketing our business and getting people to get on the app. I'm pretty sure, Mike, you want to sell those sneakers right now? Well, let's say you sell it to him and he scams you, you just lost $2,000. Why wouldn't you pay $24.99? Now I can do a perfect transaction. You know you're going to get the shoes, it's going to be authentic, and it's going to come to you right away. I'll spend the extra $25 to make sure I'm getting my profit. I don't see what's bad about it.
What's everyone's role in the business?
We are into the business. Yeah. We're into the business. She's the computer, like that's what
Software development. So I will be the one who actually makes the website and the app application for everyone who wants to.
Okay.
So if you want an estimate for that, it's about $500 to $650.
Okay. What's your role?
I'm graphic designer, so all the graphics that you guys see are done.
Looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, that's very,
Great.
very solid.
I'm marketing major, so I will focus on meeting celebrities on social media, so Instagram, and trying to make them collaborate with us.
Okay. And you guys are.
We're
It brings the beauty out of
They do the biggest job. Themselves.
Let me throw out a question here. First of all, the name, Lenny Williams. Talk to Lenny. He's a management department. He knows everything there is about kids.
Lenny Williams.
He's the man. First of all, looking at your financials, and nice job also. I love this. Is that a real Air Jordan, by the way?
Everything you say here is real. Everything you say here is real.
You roll $25. You roll
Why do you actually want to hold these and then ship them out? Why don't you just be like a middleman between the buyer and the seller, have an authentication site somewhere out there? Because right off the bat, you're not going to be responsible if these things get burned in your warehouse. You have to put insurance, by the way.
Yeah.
See the insurance up there. You're saving $25 grand a year in office space right off the bat. And shipping.
Yeah, I saw you holding class.
So the reason why we are holding it is some people don't like me. I don't really have enough space to hold. I live with my parents. I have use my room. I had to use my square feet, whatever I have. So I don't really have a lot of space to hold like 100 pictures. All right. I won't have anyone to sleep. So that's why people should trust us so we can hold their sneakers in bigger spaces.
In a vault.
Safely. There you go, safely. And these sneakers, we're not just holding them. These sneakers will go up in prices. For example, you have this pair of shoe. Everybody wants a pair of these. These shoes came up multiple times. Why everybody wants them? Because of TikTokers, Instagram influencers, all of that. These shoes used to go for like $220. Now they go for $300. They go for the size. That shit that you have right there. It was $1,500. Now it's at $2,000.
Insurance, because if there is a certain period of time, you're going to have a very large amount of inventory, and that is going to be worth those $2. And if something happens, and stuff, you know what I mean? Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. You're on the hook for it.
I got this guy right here.
Trust me, now everybody gets my father be like, hey, is this legal? Yes, it is legal.
Yeah.
How did you pay sell your app to him. The transaction goes perfectly fine. I will give you a rate, and also the buyer can give you like a review. So like that, your commission can either go up or go down. If
I see. So you're not actually, okay, so maybe I was confused. Maybe you're saying that if you were a user of the app, you would be able to pick up a pair of shoes like these for $100 and then sell them at market.
No.
Like, how did you get these for $100?
I got them on a sneaker. I got them on an app. The app is provided by Nike. I got very
You got lucky.
And
That's
very
also,
lucky. There you go.
yeah, that's also another thing. Like, we're trying to give
Like
everybody a chance.
Like
Those are
big
Nike. We're trying to give everybody a chance. Like the Nike app, bro, it's bogus. Like you could be on that app. The sneakers drop at 10 o'clock. You could be on the app at like 8:50, trying to be the first person, and you will be wasting your time and you will not hit.
Yeah.
So we're trying to like.
So you're trying to cut that out.
We're trying to cut that out.
You're finding the people who did that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that they're going to now make money.
And also, we want to lower the
I'm glad that you talked about it.
Also, we want to lower the scamming and the ratio of buying a pair of shoes by like 10-15%.
Every week you pick up the local whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever paper you have. Suburban for me.
How many of those did they make?
Those are only.
They were limited edition because it's a collab with Ben and Jerry, like I said. And there's also a special edition box, which is like literally an ice cream box.
Right.
And that could go for like $4,000.
There's like 200
Just because of the box.
200 box.
The size.
Unfortunately, I do not.
The sizes vary.
Yes.
price.
So the smaller size is the more expensive.
Like a size 6 in those is going for 2,500 right now. Almost 10.
Money, too bad right now.
You got 14 triple E?
I'm going to say after we wrap up, because I don't want to just pick each group and give anybody else professor's point of view advantage, as they're coming up. But Mike will be able to comment on all of the presenters. Yeah, okay. My son does what you did, and so I'm very familiar with it. It's a good thing. And I think one of the things, and I'm breaking what I just said, I was not going to do. Professors do it all the time. It's syllabus, professor will modify it. So this is one of those. The one thing that I think you really, aside from the obvious that you really have going for, it's still, from what I understand from a credible source, an expanding market. So the fact that you have competitors should be of no moment. The only thing that concerns me is how long the sneaker bubble or sneaker fad lasts. So you've got to make your money, make it quick, and get the hell out.
It's not bad.
So,
Yeah,
well, I'm saying at some point, what will the next, new thing be? But you're right. You're right.
Since Jordan came out in '84, they haven't stopped. Look, right there.
Jordan's.
I grew up with Ken.
Jordan's. Is this a business? Is this a business you can sell for a lot of money? Yes, right? I mean, no, because whenever I look at investment, I say, can I get $100 million? And I say that tongue in cheek, not really. Like, if I'm an investor in the business, right, and I say, well, I'm going to put $100,000, I want to, I know I'm going to make 7 out of 10, I'm going to fail, maybe 8 out of 10. But the 2 I make, right, I put 100 or 250. I want to make 10 times my money, right? All right, I want to make 10 times or more, right? Point being is, if I'm going to invest in this, I have to look at business and say, I can sell this for $100 million, and I can take an equity piece of this business. Can I sell? I don't know that because I got to do more research on the market. I'll give you an example. Somebody that I really look up who really is into sneakers, his name is 2J Kicks. He owns a store in Las Vegas called Urban Necessities. He also had a location in New York City, in Manhattan. He owns sneakers that nobody has. He owns sneakers that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. He owns one pair of shoes that is close like a down payment on a house. All right, it's called a Paris Dunks. That should cost $100,000, right? So if you own like 2 or 3 pairs of those, that's already like $300,000.
So you're counting on your inventory to go up in value.
Yes. The Nike Dunks will always go up. So like these, like that type of sneaker, the silhouette Nike Dunks wasn't really doing well in 2010, 2011. But then the impact of social media, influencers, and Travis Scott, and thanks to Travis Scott, he literally brought all of these dunks back to life.
So
journey. I want you to think about something that we all know in classic art called prudence. It's a certification of art in the art world. That's what this is about. That's the very basic concept. Keep it simple.
Yep.
They are your prudence.
Yep.
It don't matter what's up or down, you have to pay a certification for a gateway. Yep. Because if someone pays $100,000 or $2,000 for a sneaker, they want to be sure they got a certification because whether they're putting it on a homeowner's insurance policy, right? Or they're reselling them in the other market, or they're going to hold this inventory for collateral. These guys are certified in that process.
Got it. All right,
So buyer, seller don't matter, both sides of the transaction. Right?
I'll give you my last example, right? You guys are investors, right? You invest in the stock market, you have a portfolio. Are you sure that that stock will go up in price over time?
Not the last 2 days it hasn't.
Same thing. Same thing. You have a stock market portfolio, and we have a sneakers portfolio.
No, I get it. I think there's definitely a market for it. I would look at it a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Good job. Great presentation.
Let them clean up that. All right, everyone. Let them clean up real quick. Everyone take a breather. That was really intense. All right, everyone. That was team number 4. We have one team left. Come on, as you can tell up here, we have one more team.
Do you own that name?
I'd like to do a trial of this, if anyone's interested. Yeah. So you knew the founder of that company was, so where he went to college? University of Maryland. Oh, it's on the board. This is the honor. That's right. Okay. It is great. There's a guy named Kevin Flake on the road. Insert a red Google. Let's go. Are those easy? I'll give you 75. Hey, sneaker guys. I want to pay $24.99. This is always the fun part of Shark Tank too, where like you get to see the guy bump into walls and stuff, you know, like the guinea pig that walks like this and he's like that. I don't even know what Lucy is yet. What they got on here? Hey Chris, you know what tell you Chris Farley? Okay, what am I looking at here? 3 dots. All right. You see something? I don't see anything, I'm sorry. I only see 3 dots. Now I see nothing. You know, listen to me. You see something right now? No. Really? Yeah. That's all right. Is it going to be in your presentation? I don't want to hold this up. You better just use it. Yeah. Well, just go on with your presentation, guys. Sorry. I volunteered too quickly. Nobody was supposed to go. He's like, does anybody want to try this? Okay, good. We'll just skip it. We'll try to get money.
So that piece of plastic right there is the future, right there. It's a portal to the future. We hope you can use it.
My future
Lucy. Our vision is to provide a better social experience for metaverse users by focusing on their leisure and virtual reality gaming experiences.
Our mission is to transition a game prototype into a metaverse.
So we have a problem we're trying to solve, that is a lack of social interaction we have in the metaverse. To solve that, we're creating this game called Lucy, where we'll enhance the social interaction, and we'll launch on the Oculus and the Meta Oculus to enhance all the social features in our game.
The target audiences are going to be the metaverse users, the non-metaverse users, and people who try to seek a real-world experience through Web 3.0.
So going a little to the game itself, it will be interactive gaming experiences where we'll focus on social interaction. This will be done through 3 missions, going to 11 gaining points. All the stuff will be based on social experiences and social missions where people can interact between each other. And finally, reaching the final stage, which is a soft land and inner land called Terra Land.
Now the main character, Lucy. Lucy is going to get companionship avatar who will be with you side by side throughout the game. Everyone, let's say hi to Lucy.
You guys created this?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. So that is a little prototype of how Lucy will look like in our game. So Lucy is a companionship that will be throughout all the game with the user. It's not generic because it's built specifically to adapt to each different user, which will be done through surveys and algorithms like the ones Instagram and TikTok use, which will adapt specifically.
There's nothing like this.
There's nothing like this that has an avatar that my son plays with the Oculus all the time. I see it. So there's nothing that has an avatar that follows you along like this.
No,
Is there?
So far, nothing. So far, that's why I want to create this called Lucy.
Okay. Okay.
So subsequently, the game will be providing guidance and companionship, adapting to each user, and finally, through trust and interaction, the objective is to become a friend of the user itself.
That's right.
So how are we building this? How are we developing our business? First, we're going to outsource all development to Globant, a software engineering gaming company that will provide all the social features, the functionality, and Lucy to develop our game and launch it into the meta.
We're going to be using blockchain technology, which we believe is like the most safest technology currently. And before launching the game, we're going to do testing and sampling.
So the marketing plan, how we're going to advertise our game. First of all, we use digital signage, where we'll provide game prototypes of our games, both in screens in the metaverse and as well in the real world.
We're going to use the power of YouTube and TikTok, where we're going to do collaboration with the YouTube gamers and as well as the TikTok influencers. Lastly, we're going to do pop-up events where go to game cons, give a free trial of a game and everything.
So some industry trends, some revenue forecast facts before going to the financials. There's 110 million users in the VR industry that are gamers themselves, and also from 2024 we expect a 72 billion consumer spending.
Currently, Meta has about 10 million active users, and by the end of 2024, they expect to have 32 million Meta users.
Our main revenue streams for the first 3 years will be game sales that will be selling at a price of $30, and we'll target for the third year at 1% of that 32 million users Meta has.
And last year, the add-ons, we're going to add on something like Lucy skins, and we can do changes to the avatar based on a marketplace.
So now what we're waiting for, the financials. To start with, we'll need a funding required of $3,020,000, but we give our investors a 15% equity of the company. As you can see, the sales forecasting on the first half of the first year, we're just developing those sales. On the second half of the year, we'll achieve some sales, almost 150 revenue, which we'll multiply by 10 for the second year, and finally the third year, we'll achieve a 6.5 billion revenue. As you see in the cash flow analysis, for our first year, basically will be a ramp up, just building the game and developing. We'll close at a loss of $10,000 that will take for the second year. We'll boost our sales a lot, achieving that revenue of $1.5 million, which we will have an EBITDA of $650,000, which after paying our investors and keeping 10% for cash reserves, we'll have $500,000. Taking it to the third year, we'll boost our sales much more, multiplying our marketing expenses by 10, and then achieving a final profit of
would you like Lucy to take the clients towards Valley National in the meta instead of JP Morgan? As they're on their way, Lucy's on her way to the platform and follow in the meta. You get where this is going?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So basically, the first year will be the ramp-up year, and the second and third year will be value creation, where we expect to have a 5 times cash flow. So for the third year, we expect our company to be valued at $18 million.
And now this is the timeline shot. So the pre-game development is going to take up to like 15 days. And the game development, we expect it to develop the whole game by 6 to 7 months. On the 7th month, we plan to launch the game.
15 days, you said?
Pre-launch, that's a pre-development game.
That's a what, say?
Pre-game development.
Okay.
You said 15 months, not 15 days, correct?
15 days.
That's for the pre-game. Then
Pre-game, for the actual game development, we take it 7 months to develop the game.
7 months to develop the game.
on the 7th month, we will be launching the game.
And why outsource it? Because you guys can't do it on your own? I only asked the question because a lot cheaper if you can do it on your own, right?
Yeah. No, but if you do it on our own, I think it's not experience and we don't have the facility, so we are planning outsourcing to Donnellan.
That's why the first year we'll focus on Donnellan. It's expensive, we know, but they will be able to build a good game for us. And then after the second and third year, as you saw in the IT and development, we will be in charge of all the continuing developing the IT developers. So that's how much increases, and then we'll be in charge of having a good enhanced.
You own the IP then?
Yes.
You own the intellectual property then? If Logan doesn't own it, I mean that's the biggest thing in this whole thing, right?
We just outsource it.
We just outsource the game development, that's it. Just the software, the developers the software and give it to us. Later on, we're going to do everything. So we're going to have our own IT team and we're going to develop everything on us.
Because the biggest thing for me in this whole thing is if you don't own the IP, you don't own the game.
No, we're going to own the IT, of course. And next is the management team. So we can have executives, departments, the delivery team, and executives, COOs, that's me and Maximo. Departments can be there, the right team, finance and marketing, and delivery team, that's the delivery team. And lastly is the exit strategy, which Maximo is going to talk about.
So our exit strategy after the third year is to become part of Meta, so sell our services to Meta. This way we have much better funding for development, for gaming and marketing, which are the main expenses, and also which are achieve all the tools they have when they will launch their potential metaverse. All the tools to accomplish our mission to become a game in the metaverse.
And now we ask you to step in and Lucy. Thank you for listening.
So, I mean, I understand what Meta is. Just explain that a little bit more as it relates to Quest, Oculus 2, Quest 2, or whatever it is. Help me understand Meta a little bit more.
So as of now, Meta of course is investing a lot in the metaverse industry of its right. As of now, there's not so much metaverse built, but there will be in a couple of years. What we have now is the virtual reality game experiences where we all place our game, and in the future, when Facebook really develops the metaverse, when you will have like all the stores selling NFTs and selling digital assets, that's what we're going to place.
Do you have any experience in this right now at all? Any of this, or is this kind of all right here coming out of your head? Where did Lucy come from? Where did that come from?
We thought of name. That's going to be
I don't care about the name. It could be Sarah. You can say.
No, not Sarah. Not Sarah. Sorry. He's got some stuff.
We're trying to build like more of a mental health state, no change, social experience. So we came up
What does everyone think? Does everyone think? Who do you think's got this? Who do you think? Team 2? Team 3? Team 4? Or Team 5? So now's the fun part. Since all 5 teams went, let's see what they really think. I'm going to collect all the papers whenever you're done filling them out. I'm going to add up all the tallies, and then we're going to go from reverse order. 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. Whoever's in the top 3, you know your prize money. We'll handle that later on. We have custom rewards made over here. We're going to take photos together. We have a giant check. So in the meantime, we're going to have one more performance while Luzio costume. Do you guys need more time? Do you guys need some time? Cool. All right, good job.
issues we're having today, but I do appreciate everyone. If we can shut you down a little bit. There's going to be a few words said before we do the big announcements. Number one, as I said in my beginning of my speech when I did the rallying up with John, all of you are top-notch. And even many of you that I had the experience of in my MYOB classes, as well as the applications that were reviewed, it's really showing what our school is about and the sustainability we can have in this state for entrepreneurship and idea creation. I also, just for a second, want to give Professor John Laski a moment because I know he had some words that he wanted to say. And he's the quiet one at the table all day, so you know, he's a bellwether in our department, in our university, plethora of experience in the professional world, Navy world, and obviously here at home at NJCU, but he's been a great mentor to me for too many years to count, and I want to thank him for that.
I don't need this, but thank you. You know, one of the great things about this is, you know, ladies and gentlemen that show up to do this, give us on this side of the table, as a professor, a little bit different perspective sometimes, and real world stuff that we can use. I'll give you a case in point. One of the things that one of our colleagues here, and I hope I can refer to you as a colleague, he used the phrase white space. Remember that? You know, was this true white space? You know what we teach, or at least I have. I'll drown on this one alone. Blue ocean weather. You know, and we get a lot of stuff. Michael Porter and some of the well-published authors, you know, and so forth. And we use this stuff. And we teach some of this stuff. So I beat up my students, blue ocean, red ocean, and all this. And I'm sitting next to this very, very hugely accomplished gentleman, I mean, with extraordinary credentials. And he sits there and says, "Is that true white space?" And I said, "What? White space? Hell is white space?" So I wrote that down. Anybody in my class here starting tomorrow, that's right, it'll be on the file, white space, so write this down. The other thing is, you know, we get a perspective and we get into a little bit of group think on some of this stuff. And, you know, just when you think you know something, and I'm speaking about myself, I'm condemning only myself here. Just when you think you know something, my son does this sneaker thing. So, I mean, I can really relate to that. And so, to me, it's very real because I see it being done. You know, so I made the comment, and not that it was a correction so much, but it was an awareness point, and I thank you for that. I made the comment, which was a comment I made to my son, and I said, you just got to be careful because, you know, it's probably a fad, and if it blows up, so make your money and run. But you know what? That's, you know, I look at this, that's the gray area. We have pet rocks. You know, I mean, people actually bought this stuff. You know, I know you're sitting there saying, pet rock. Believe me, in the 60s with enough blow, you could find some. So, you know, I was at Woodstock. I was 15, but I was at Woodstock. But the point is that sometimes we, and I'll fall on the sword here, get into our own sense of group thing. Because I experience fads, I somewhat have a tendency to, you know, put myself in a closet that says, you know, yeah, this stuff, yeah, but it's a fad. And you know what, you're right. They've been doing sneakers, I forget what you exactly said, but I think it was like 200 years or something. You know, and you're right, point taken. Because just because my experience was fads, your experiences are in fact different. Point being that this is a learning experience with such prestigious people, for professors as well. Where do you think we get away from the BS in the textbooks and inject a little bit of real world? Sure. Final thought. As opposed to these gentlemen here who are clearly smarter than me, in another life, I was more on your side of the stage, which is why I can't walk because I'm so used to getting down on bended knees begging for I worked for the third largest trading company in Japan, which is now the largest, a company called Donnellan Corporation. And we did a whole bunch of things And choice was outsource. Now, of course, we know historically what's transpired. But the choice was outsource or try to be competitive. I was brought in to, and none of this was off-the-shelf stuff, so it was a very conceptual, in quotes, sale, if you will. I was brought in to say, hey, look, I've worked with your engineering department, I've worked with your finance people, you know, blah, 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 all this stuff. Here's what we can do for you. Here's what I do means to you. And it was the idea of automation, cutting heads, meaning, frankly, employees where we could, improving throughput, and, you know, actually operationalizing Porter's value chain. You know, because at each step of the way, you had the opportunity to scrap something, which was a very expensive proposition when you've got a competitive knife to your throat. Did it save Eastman Kodak and dozens of other Fortune 500 and 200 companies? Not all of them. Why? Because eventually you just can't compete. You know, but what we did do, what I did do, is I bought him 10 years. I bought him 10 years. That's what I did. And I had to go in there on bended knee, competing with, you know, a bunch of other things that we teach and so forth, but competing with 1,500, sometimes 15,000 other vendors, all trying to, on bended knee, get a purchase order. But basically, in other words, convince somebody that what we were proposing had value. Every one of you has taken the step of trying to convince experts that what you do and what you're proposing has value. And I can't speak enough to that. If there's something worthy of high praise as an end game to sitting in a university and listening to people like Dr. Weiss, myself, Dr. Donnellan, and others, you know, that's it. This is what makes it all worthwhile when you can stand up in front of experts, not a bunch of blowhards that read textbooks and publish papers and stuff, but real experts, and do what you do. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. So, I want to again, just out of respect to my chair of my business management department, Dr. John Donnellan, who's not only been a judge, support, really goes to bat for all of us to try to really help where he can to really make the business management department innovative, entrepreneurial, and allow us freedom to, academic freedom to do what we can fighting the good fight. I know I mentioned Professor Lauren Johnson, but there is somebody else in this audience that's being very quiet. I would consider him to be not only a friend, another mentor, second to Viacom at one time in his life as CFO. Many of you may not know that. And probably, in my personal opinion, the backbone why the accounting department still exists during its challenging time. Professor Michael O'Neill. Thank you, Michael, for all the hard work you do for every student in this university when it comes to real world and practical and letting them know how to help and where to help them with things. You are a real, as they say in Yiddish, mensch. Thank you. All right, now on to the stuff that everyone's waiting for. Oh, Michael Arbitblit ran off with a check. I don't know where he went. So, well, I guess we should do this like it's like the Emmys or something. We'll start with open. Yeah. Wait, can I smack first? All right. So, yeah. So, once again, everyone did well. However, I, as always, being adaptable and innovative, you know there were 3 prizes, right? 5,000, 1,000, 500. 4th place wasn't going to get anything, right? 5th place, nothing. Now I've just changed my mind. IDO will be giving $250 to 4th and 5th place. It'll be gift certificates to the bookstore. Get whatever you want. Based on that, here we are. In 5th place, we are, go ahead, sir.
Business Bridge.
All right. Well, you do the other side, and I'll say it.
All right, and fourth place is
Infinitus, Inc. Mike's gonna give you 100 grand right now. 100% shot. All right, next.
now the fun part.
Here we go. We get Mike Luzio. Can you come up for this one? Because I gotta share, the Valley National check and LBE check for our awards and food and beers. So okay. So on the on the third place, we have. Mike, I'll let you head up.
Sneaker Society.
By the way, Dr. Donnellan, we need an awards thing at the School of Business for getting awards.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you. Dr. D, because we do have awards that we want to have in the, so okay, so the check is being redone, it's being recut, we're going up 500 to 1,000.
As the official.
Reissued, yes. Yeah, can I have Mr. Valley National Bank up here everywhere? Come on. Wow. Only 2 teams left. NFL Gold and Cleanfields. Wow, look at this.
I'm thrilled to present the check.
It's like who wants to take odds on this one? All right. So, Dr. Ed, come over. So, in second position for second place, it is. Which one's two? Clearfield.
Towards achieving your goal, you have the most admirable goal.
We know our winner now, right? We know our winner! Great! We're just going to change this around a little bit. Leave this check with $5,000. Dr. Johnson, come on up. By the way, in competition, I'm all about competition. Dr. Johnson kicked my ass on this one. Awesome. No, you did a great job. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So here we go. Officially, I will let.
Why are you guys slow playing it? Come up here.
again, I want to thank everyone for attending. All of us, it's an NJCU family. It's the end of the semester. I know everyone's stressed out. Good luck with all your exams. Also, just remember, no matter, there's no winners and losers. I think what Mike Luzio said before is so true, and I know I've lived it myself. No matter how many no's you get, all you need is one yes. That's it. So remember that. And the second thing I always say is passion, passion, passion. If there's no passion, there's no success. All right, God bless everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week.
For those that actually won cash prizes, come up here and talk to me. We'll talk about it. Well, I mean, all the competitors, because everyone's winning something.